To know the story of the lands between is to know a story full of lies. Many of you that have heard the story have heard it from the mouths of many travelers of the lands between. No matter how many stories you may have heard, they all have one thing in common: that the storyteller stood before the Erd Tree and became Elden Lord. I am here to tell you the one true story of the lands between. Many will find this story to be the same as others you may have heard. The key difference with this story, though, is that it comes straight from texts found within the capital's record hall. This is the story of the rise and fall of the most mighty kingdom ever known. A man cast aside and forgotten, only to rise once more to fulfill his destiny. This is the story of Grace and her guidance. This is the story of the Elden Ring. The lands between came to exist by the power of the Elden Ring. Now this ring is not made of silver or of gold. It is built by the power of runes. Each rune has its own power that whoever should wield but even a single rune, they would be nigh unstoppable. When the runes are forged together, they create this legendary ring. The power of this ring gave birth to the Erd Tree. The tree is a manifestation of the ring's power. Its roots travel to all corners of the lands between and give it its life. Without the tree, the lands would perish. A young woman by the name of Marika was chosen by Grace to become queen of the lands between. And she chose a young warrior known as Horalu to marry. Horalu was a very wild and dangerous warrior, but in order to become Elden Lord, he needed to give up his life of war. To do this, he enlisted the help of a powerful spirit known as Serosh to help him. Serosh allowed Hora to bottle his anger and control it. Thus, Horalu was finished, and Godfrey, the first Elden Lord, was born. Queen Marika and Godfrey had 3 children in their time together. Godwyn the Golden was the eldest. He was born pure and powerful, one to rival even his father. They then had twins, Morgott and Moog. The 2 were also powerful, but they had one fatal weakness. They were cursed with the blood of the Omen. The blood of the Omen was a sin during the age of the Erd Tree. And so, to protect their children, Queen Marika hid them away in the sewers of Lanedale. This allowed them to grow and live a life, even though they were to hide away. Over time, Godfrey began to grow hungry with power. He wanted to claim the Elden Ring for himself. And when Queen Marika learned of this, she stripped him of his power and branded him Tarnished. Godfrey was then banished from the kingdom and was never heard from again. After Godfrey was gone, Queen Marika began looking for a new man to claim Elden Lord, only to find it in a young man known as Radagon. The history of Radagon is full of a hunger for power, lies, and deceit. He was born into a peasant lifestyle. Through cunning tricks and his ambition for power, he was able to deceive the Princess Renala of the Carian royalty into falling for him. Soon, the 2 were married and had children of their own. The eldest, Rykard, followed his father's ways. He was a liar and full of deceit. Radon was second. He had the strength that Radagon possessed, showing that no one could beat him in battle. He was even able to conquer the stars. Ranni was the youngest. She took after her mother, kind and poetic. She wanted only to care for those around her and protect her people. Shortly after Ranni was born, Rennala came across a young infant left to die in the wilds of Liurnia. Rennala took the infant in and raised him as her own. They named him Malekith. When Godfrey went missing, Queen Marika found fancy with Radagon. Radagon and his lust for further power left Rennala and married Queen Marika. He also took his 3 children with him and banished Malekith to the dark city of Farum Azula. Radagon and Marika together had twins of their own, Miquella and Malenia. The 2 young sisters were born with curses of their own. Miquella was cursed with infinite youth. No matter how old she got, she would always remain in a body the age of an 8-year-old. Malenia was born with a new danger. It was called Scarlet Rot. As long as Malenia's blood never got out, the rot would not spread. Malenia, however, did not let this fear stop her. She challenged herself and became a most powerful fighter. She never lost a battle at any time, even against her brother Radahn. They both never knew defeat. When challenging each other, they always ended in a draw. Peace was never meant to last. A rebellion began to rise in the southern lands. Limgrave was once known for its farming, but quickly turned into a torn battleground. A fearsome dragon had made its home in the nearby lake and brought waste to the lands. The people pleaded to Radagon to save them, but it fell unanswered. The people had had enough. They wanted the gods to be destroyed and let mankind rule for themselves. When the rebellion rose, Radagon acted swiftly. He raised an army and marched to Limgrave. Queen Marika accompanied him to try and reason with them peacefully. All the peace talks were useless. Radagon refused to kill the dragon and save the people. And as long as that dragon remained, the people would not side with them. Radagon did not give the people a second chance. He destroyed anyone that was allied with this rebellion. A few of the members ran and survived. Those survivors all went into hiding to avoid the same fate. On the return to the capital, the company came across a small farm home in the northwest of Limgrave. The home was broken down and burned from all of the dragon's attacks. The company stopped here to grab water before continuing their journey. Radagon found a young man sitting inside the building. The young man's name was Jeeves. Queen Marika felt compassion for the young man. He was only 16 and all alone. His family had been killed by the dragon. Queen Marika brought Jeeves back to the capital and raised him as her own. Radagon, however, despised Jeeves. However, much to his hatred, he did as his queen commanded. Jeeves was trained by Radagon until he was strong enough and smart enough that he could fight in the military. Queen Marika made him the general of the royal guard and tasked him with protecting the capital at all costs. Soon after Jeeves became general, Radagon went missing. No one knows how or why he left, but his disappearance brought chaos to the world. The few survivors of the rebellion had built a new order known as the Black Knives. They were a group of assassins, and their one goal was to end the gods. As well as the new threat, all of the demigods began to grow restless. They each wanted to claim the throne as Elden Lord and possess the Elden Ring. Queen Marika denied all of them this claim. In protest to the claim, all of the demigods left the capital to find power for themselves. Godric was the first to leave. Not much is known of Godric, as much of the ancient text was lost. However, he was of Godwyn's lineage. Godwyn had passed during the Rebellion War, and the pain that Queen Marika felt caused her to burn any scripts of her son. Ranni returned to Liurnia to be with her mother. Radahn claimed the Redmane Castle and Caelid as his home. Rykard's story was painful. Of all the children, he was the most vocal. He threw the Erd Tree aside and began spewing heresy. He blamed Queen Marika for his father's disappearance. The heresy he spat was enough to get him banished from the kingdom. He retreated to Mount Gelmir, where he found the Volcano Manor. Volcano Manor was home to the Dragonkin clan, a clan that was reverenced by the dragons and found a way to harness that magic. Miquella went into hiding and created the Erd Tree, a place where she could study and try to find a cure for herself and her twin Melania. Melania would follow her sister to the Erd Tree, where her rot could not affect anyone else. Mohg left the sewers and founded a secret dynasty. He silently plotted a way to claim the throne for himself. Morgause stayed in the capital and joined Queen Marika in defending the kingdom. His belief was that if he sided with her, that she would bestow the Elden Ring to him for his loyalty. With all of the demigods away from the kingdom, the Black Knives found an opening to attack. The attack they brought to the capital was so powerful and deadly that night became known as the Night of the Black Knives. The attack lasted for weeks as Jeeves was holding the line very well. However, he knew that they wouldn't be able to hold it for long without help. Luckily, he would get the help he requested. Melania had heard word of the attack and returned to the capital. With her by their side, they began to push the Black Knives back. Mohg had heard of Melania's return and used the opportunity to unleash his plan. He snuck into the Erd Tree and kidnapped Miquella. He trapped her within the dynasty and began to torment her. Mohg believed that Miquella was the true heir to the throne, and if he could manipulate her, she would give the throne to him. A trusted advisor to Melania quickly sent word to the capital of Miquella's kidnapping. No one knew who took Miquella, but the signs of a struggle showed she was taken. Melania believed the kidnapper to be Radahn, as the two had always argued and hated one another. Melania left the capital and began assembling an army herself. With Melania gone, the Black Knife assassins began to push forward again. Seeing the push, Queen Marika summoned Jeeves to the throne to speak with him. She bestowed upon him the gift of grace and its guidance. She also gave Jeeves instructions to head for the mountaintop of the giants and beg them to come to the aid of the capital. Without hesitation, Jeeves left his captain Sozin in charge of the fight. He then headed for the mountaintop to meet with the fire giant. Queen Marika also sent word to the Dragonkin clan of Mount Gelmir for assistance. The war raged on for another week. Jeeves, up on the mountaintop of the giants, spoke with the fire giant, begging for their help. The giant, however, was refusing to aid. The giant believed that if the Erd Tree wanted them to survive, that it would grant them the power to destroy the Black Knives. To make matters worse, Melania mobilized her army into the lands of Caelid and began a war with Radahn. All of the strife and worry was starting to get to Marika. She had not heard from the Dragonkin, and Jeeves had not yet returned. She believed that there was only one thing left for her to do, so she took the Elden Ring deep into the Erd Tree, and with a few hard strikes, she shattered the ring. Each of the runes spread across the lands between. Each rune had chosen one of the demigods to wield it. With the ring gone, all of the power of the capital was gone. Sozin and the army was overwhelmed by the Black Knives, and all were slain. The Black Knives entered the Erd Tree and killed Marika where she stood. The war in Caelid took a turn. With Melania and Radahn now holding a rune of their own, they fought with more power than ever before. Both of their armies fell, leaving the two demigods to face each other. They battled for 3 more days before it finally ended in a draw. Melania lost her arm and was forced to retreat, but not before she infected Radahn with the Scarlet Rot. Not only did she infect Radahn, but by the power of her rune, she was able to infect all of Caelid. The rot destroyed everything. Caelid soon became wild. In the aftermath of all the war, Jeeves finally had returned to the capital. He walked silently through the war-torn city. He could still hear the many voices of the people screaming as the Black Knives killed all in their way. Soon, Jeeves found himself at the Erd Tree, and his mother's body hanging and destroyed. With all the defeat and dread, Jeeves retreated to the one place he knew no one would ever find him. And there he waited for grace to guide him once more. Weary traveler, touched by despair by the looks of it. Come closer. And who might you be, young one?
Why does it matter who I am anymore?
It does matter. Whether life or death, it matters. Whether you matter or not, it matters. For there is always hope, even in the darkest of darknesses. So, tell me, traveler, what is it that brings you all the way down to Limgrave?
I'm just wandering. Destined to be alone for the rest of my life, it seems.
Well, a wanderer must need rest. Please, have a seat next to the fire. Now, why do you believe yourself to be alone for all times, as you say?
My family, my loved ones, my army, they're all gone.
Gone?
Dead. There's nothing I could have done.
But the question is there something you could have done?
Maybe. I'm not sure. It's too late to dwell on that.
But dwelling on the past is actually good for the soul. While painful, yes, it is good, for it allows you to learn, to grow, to become more than what you once were. So I'll ask you again, is it bad or good that they are gone?
I cannot answer that.
One does not have to have the answers for all questions. Just one question matters. What will you do now?
Revenge is the only thing that's left for me. After that, I don't care what happens.
You must care, for otherwise revenge would not matter. Again, I ask, what is it your heart truly desires?
My people, my clan, my wife, and children.
Could you have that once more?
I'm not sure if I want it again. That's the thing.
What about the Elden Ring?
Such things are trivial to me. But
What if I
I don't
told you?
know.
What if I told you that the Elden Ring is not lost, and that should it be restored, you could not only seek the revenge you wish in rebuilding it, but also have a chance to have your clan and a family once more.
If that is the case, why tell me?
You have an aura about you, a glow, one that says you are marked by Grace's guidance. You may not be able to hear that which is rumored, but it means you are chosen by the Erd Tree for a purpose that you have yet to discover.
A purpose like what? Losing my wife, family, and clan? For what reason?
For the rebuilding of the ring. For only those who have gone through the literal shit can thus rise to maybe one day become more than they were once able to realize. Corvin, the Dragon Master of Madness.
I see you are familiar with my name.
I know
I
not.
assume you're familiar with my wrath as well.
I know not of who you are. I am but an old man who has never set foot outside of Limgrave. All I do know is that which the Erd Tree desires, and it desires that you should be the one to help the one true Lord rebuild the Elden Ring and restore peace to the lands between, and in doing so, find who you truly are and what you truly can become. Only then can you find your clan and a family once more. If you do not believe me, that is fine. But before you decide to run your own errands, might I suggest looking for the secret cave that leads to a church, a hidden church, one that is known as Anticipation, one where a secret, yet long forgotten hero of the capital, chosen by Queen Merica herself, now hides, waiting for the call of Grace's guidance, waiting for someone to wake him from his slumber, waiting to lead this world from the darkness it sleeps in. And only you can awaken them.
If this is no farce and actually truth, allow me a day to think this over.
You have until the clock
Just
strikes midnight. When the moon is at its highest, you will see the moon go red. And if it does, it is time for you to make haste to the Church of Anticipation.
I will heed your words, old man.
Go to the site of First Grace, shortly just to the mountain to our south. There, you will see the blood moon rise.
Jeeves.
What?
Jeeves.
Who's there?
Wake up.
Who are you?
The time has come. You must rise again for the sake of the Erd Tree, for the sake of the lands between.
I can't. I failed.
We all have failed. It is what allows us to grow.
But there is no hope for me.
Queen America still believes in you. Her hope is placed in you.
What would you have me do?
Rebuild the Elden Ring and save the lands between.
I can't do that alone.
You are not alone. Another chosen by grace draws near. Together, you must go.
Who enters this church?
Corbin, the last of the dragonkin. Who are you?
Corvin. I know that name. The last I heard and saw of you, you were just tiny, recently born, but had huge expectations placed upon his shoulder. Why have you come to this place?
My clan has been literally killed off. I was wandering the lands, hoping someone would end me. Then I came across this old man, and he spoke of a church. He spoke about the Elden Ring, asked me what did I want out of my life, what did I want the most.
And what is it you want the most?
At the moment, my heart yearns for revenge. But other than that, I guess I do want to start all over. Start a new line of dragonkin. At least that's what I think I want.
What does your heart say?
My heart only speaks rage. At least for now. My heart is not pure. Not anymore.
So why come looking for me at the word of an old man?
I'm not sure. Maybe I'm just hoping to die. Maybe I'm hoping what he speaks is true.
What did the old man tell you about me? So what
All
do
the old man said was something about a great warrior and an Elden Ring, and spewed fantasies of me having a new family, a new wife, a new clan.
and what do you expect me to be?
I can no longer hear Grace's voice. I don't know if it's because of my deeds, my past, what I've been through, what I've done. All he told me to do was come here. If you cannot help me, I will take my leave.
What do you want my help for? Do you not know my story?
No, I do not.
My story is not good. I was once the general of the capital. The night of the Black Knives fell upon us, and when the world and the capital needed me most, I was not there. I was on the mountaintop of the giants, trying to forge an alliance with them, only to fail, and return to see my entire family gone, my entire city reduced to rubble. The countless screams of the innocent still haunt that city. So I ask you again, what is it you want from me?
I was told that you may be able to help me regain the Elden Ring to restore my dragonkin.
The Elden Ring cannot bring your kin back. But it can allow you to receive a light, one that will allow you to rebuild from the ashes. What the old man told you is true, but it is not from the ring that can happen. It is from you, and you alone. If you desire to rebuild your clan, if you desire to marry and have children, only you can do that. But what the ring can do is purge the corruption and pave a path for you to do such things. But you cannot claim the power of the ring in a rage. The ring chooses the wielder.
I never said anything about wanting the ring or to keep it. I don't care what happens to the ring. I just want my clan back, or at least be able to start anew.
Then we are alike in that aspect. You want the Dragonkin clan to return. I want the lands between to be restored to its glory.
Then what say you?
I say we could go for the ring, but we would need to claim all of the runes first. But the runes cannot be claimed with someone with rage in their heart. So I ask you, what are you willing to sacrifice for your desires?
Even if I have to sacrifice my own life to bring back or start a new Dragonkin clan, then I will.
Very well then, Corvin. I shall help you in cleansing your heart's rage. I will assist you in rebuilding your clan. I only ask in return that you help me gather all of the runes that were scattered across the lands and rebuild the Elden Ring.
I have no quarrels with that.
Then let's us go. For only together can we destroy the demigods.
In the early morning, the darkest dawn, hear the trumpets sounding, love's final song. Kiss me, fade away just far enough, I'm drifting. Touch you so I know that I'm not dreaming. Safe until the night